Welcome, dear listeners. Here, we open our hearts before our ears, and speak in a tone that is calm, but honest and piercing. Let us talk about something uncomfortable, yet necessary. In much of the modern Western world, there exists a wound that has never fully healed: racism. Centuries of slavery, colonialism, and discrimination have left behind not just scars, but ways of thinking that still shape how people see one another. It was in the West that the poisonous idea was born: that those who look different, or come from elsewhere, are less human, less worthy. And though laws have changed, traces of that idea are still alive, in jokes, in stereotypes, in daily interactions. What is perhaps less noticed is how these attitudes spread far beyond the West. They traveled, silently but powerfully, across cultures and continents. Even in our Muslim communities, we sometimes find ourselves repeating them, mocking the Sudanese accent, belittling the Pakistani worker, making endless jokes about Asians from China or Korea. Words that we pretend are just humor, but in reality, they cut deeply into dignity. And here lies the paradox: in Islam, such behavior has no place. Our history tells another story entirely. Bilal the Abyssinian stood on the roof of the mosque in Medina, raising his voice in the call to prayer: Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Salman the Persian was honored by the Prophet himself, who said, "Salman is one of us, from the people of the household." Sahib the Roman and many others from distant lands became pillars of the Muslim community. In their world, the measure of a person was not skin color, nor language, nor ancestry. It was this: indeed, the most noble of you in the sight of Allah is the most righteous of you. That is what faith taught us, and yet, many of us have fallen into repeating the very prejudices that once came from outside. Instead of being immune, we became imitators. So what does this mean for us all, East and West? It means that racism is not a Western problem alone. It is a human disease, but it is one that we, together, can resist. The cure begins with words. To stop the mockery, to refuse the stereotypes, to teach our children that dignity is a gift given to every human being by their Creator. To remember that what unites us is infinitely greater than what divides us. Racism is not a harmless joke. It is a wound that deepens with every word and every glance. Respecting the other does not take anything away from us. In fact, it lifts us higher in honor. Allah, the Almighty, does not look at our faces or our colors. He looks at our hearts and our deeds. And if we are sincere, then we must strive to purify our hearts and be examples of dignity and compassion, rather than echoes of old diseases. Until we meet again, stay well.